Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Ramadan Kareem. I would like to start by thanking His Excellency, the Director General of ICESCO, Dr. Salim Al-Malik, for this kind invitation. And I would like also to congratulate ICESCO for choosing 2021 as the year for women empowerment. We really acknowledge and recognize and congratulate you for this choice. At the African Union Commission, we will be very committed to support this project and this year designated for women empowerment through our different departments and through the Gender Women Empowerment Department at the African Union. But if we want to speak about women empowerment in Africa, generally speaking, we should always start by talking about which strategies do we have in the continent to empower the women of the continent. At the African Union, we have our Agenda 2063. This is our strategic framework for Africa, and the aspirations enshrined in this strategy that speaks to women and gender development in the continent, and it speaks to the different policies also we have in Africa, which is fully aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals. The Agenda 2063 itself, it is aligned with the Sustainable Development Goals, so there is no contradictions while we are implementing our Agenda 2063. At the same time, we are implementing the Sustainable Development Goals. According also to our AU strategy for gender empowerment, gender and women empowerment, we have equal access to education, or we are calling for equal access to education for the girls in Africa. We always start by talking about equal opportunities at education, and we have policies in this regard. We have also gender equality and women's empowerment as a core political and legal commitment from all our AU member states. We have different legal instruments that calls for women empowerment in the continent. We have our AU Constitutive Act. We have the protocol for the Charter on Human and People's Rights, on the rights of women, known here as Maputo Protocol. We have also translated our heads of states and government level policy commitments, which we are working on implementing, like the Declaration on Gender Equality in Africa and Pillar 1 of the 10-year strategy for gender equality and women's empowerment. This year in 2021 summit, this February, also we have endorsed the Decade of Women Economic Inclusion, because also economic empowerment for women is very crucial to have gender equality and gender equity in our societies. We need women to be economically empowered. We need to give them equal economic opportunities. We need to give them equal job opportunities. We need to give them the chance for their skills to be enhanced. We need to give them the training and that's needed. We need to give them access to finance. We need to give them access to the financial institutions and development institutions. These all are requirements if we are opting or trying to have economic empowerment for women. So when we have our strategies and our policies in place, I just mentioned a few of them, when we have the mechanisms to implement, when we have the finance and the budgets for implementation, I think we will be on the right direction for achieving the objectives of women empowerment in Africa and globally. Also, I think the involvement of the civil society organizations is very crucial in the women empowerment and the development of women agenda. We have very good women civil society organizations in Africa. We are always extending our hands to them so they to join the fight, for them to play a role. We are calling upon all civil society organizations, but we focus more on those who works in the area of girls empowerment and women empowerment. And we always call them to our meetings, our activities. And we call upon member states also, please look for the civil society organizations on the national level and always engage them and involve them in the implementation of the national plans. We have also mechanisms for monitoring and evaluation, because even if we have these good policies, we have these good strategies, we have mechanisms for implementation, we would like member states to report back to us at the African Union Commission and to tell us if they have implemented, if not, what the challenges they have. And of course, there is many challenges, especially on the national level, because in many countries, there is economic constraints, there is internal conflicts that affects women and children, there is legislation challenges, there is some discriminations against women in some of the laws, it needs to be changed. So we look into these challenges and we always look for more partnerships on the regional level. We start always with the national level, but we look for partnerships on the regional level and on the global level, because the challenges in most of the parts of the world, the challenges that face the development and the empowerment of women are the same in most of the countries, whether in Africa or outside Africa. So we are opening also our doors to share our experiences in Africa, but at the same time looking for best practices abroad to learn from it and to implement it in our member states. I think women involvement in the highest decision-making levels is also part of the solutions we are looking for, because if we have more women at the highest decision-making level, we will ensure that the issues of women will not be left behind and will not be ignored by the highest levels of the governments. That's one of the things we are looking for. We are looking for more participation in the parliaments, for women participation in the parliaments, to increase the percentage of the women participation, to increase also the participation of the women when we are forming or formulating new governments or doing any reshuffling in the governments. It's not always to be on the expense of losing more seats for women, but we are always asking our member states, please, no matter what you change in your structure setup of your governments, always look to the seats of the women, give them the equal participation. We have countries in Africa that they have advanced in this sense. We have 5 countries out of the 55 member states that they have 50% participation of the women in the government and in the parliaments, and we are very proud of them, and we are always calling the rest of the member states to follow and to learn from them. We have positive examples when it comes to women leadership in Africa. We are very proud also now that we have 2 women in Africa as heads of states, the president of Ethiopia and also the president of Tanzania, and we would hope to see in the coming future more women in Africa heading their states. This will give us more empowerment as women in the continent at large. It will also give the message, the positive message worldwide, that there is no discrimination against the women in Africa, and that they have their opportunities and they can even lead their countries. I would like to end by calling upon ICESCO to come as a partner to the African Union Commission and to work with us on the joint implementation of our activities that serve the common objectives between the 2 organizations. And I will end by saying that thank you for inviting me. Shukran jazilan.